and you look at where you are now, what are the similarities that you see, and what are the differences that you see?
When I first started entertaining, I had a drive. I have this thing about me that makes me want to go to the next level every chance I get. I've done interviews before, and people ask, "What was your best performance?" And I almost always say my last one. And I hope that that continues. That's my hope for myself, that every time I get on stage, I do it better than I did the last time. But when I first started out, I was having a really hard time being Bijoux. I just Being on stage was the most natural thing I'd ever done in my life, but I kept trying to make it be somebody else that I had seen. So it took me quite some time, I think, to come into my own. I think I hear a lot from people who used to see me perform. They talk about how I would stand completely still on stage and just sing my song and get down, no personality, no Bijoux, just good singing. And that's just where I was then. When I was a child, I sang as a child, and I'm coming up in this thing. I personally see progress. It's just becoming more and more natural to be myself. And I think that's only fair. If what I'm presenting, if what people are accepting is me, then that helps my brand long term. That I don't have to worry about flipping and doing something completely different, because I've been being me the whole time.
When you perform, I see a child, and I see a very sensual adult,
That's fair.
all in the same
Yes.
package, and sometimes even in the same breath. Explain that to me.
I am Bijoux. I am grown. I have responsibilities. I came up in a culture where, in my opinion, I'm the oldest of all the grandchildren in my family, at least here in the States. So when we're playing outside, these kids are my responsibility. When I'm 3, when I'm 10, when I'm 23. Grew up hearing people like, your cousins are looking at you, your brothers are looking at you, right? So you have to be responsible. And in the same breath, I am and have always been a daddy's girl and a baby. Today I was at the gym working out, doing squats with big dumb plates on the side, and like when I was lifting, right? And when I get done, I'm like, this sucks, because that's just me. I'm very childlike at heart, and if it were up to me, I would just eat marshmallows and popcorn and play in cotton candy with unicorns. But that's not real life. So I take my grown-up time and be grown, and then I take my cotton candy time and cotton candy, because I am Bijoux.
When I hear music, and I'm talking about any music,
Mm-hmm.
it takes me places mentally. When you sing to people, where are you wanting them to go?
I think I want them to go where they want to go. I think every song has a memory, and every song has a feeling. And if you play a song with a different format and a different tempo, it gives a different feeling. And I want people to feel whatever they feel. I think a lot of artists struggle because sometimes, even though you don't want to be, as a live performer, you're Muzak. And even though people came to hear a live show, they really just want to eat dinner, talk to each other, and play on their phones. You have to be okay with that. And when they want to jump in there and feel with you, they will, but that doesn't happen every night. It doesn't happen every song. It doesn't happen every time. That's part of it. But I want people to feel whatever they feel. I want them to feel relaxed or at home, or I want them to feel nostalgic or in love or really mad or whatever it is. Just feel whatever you feel. But when you do feel it deeply for exactly 4.5 minutes, and then and then move on, because the next song is coming on.
Do you feel any type of responsibility to your audience?
Absolutely. Like a high level. So much so that I would put it in direct competition with my responsibility to myself as an artist. But that's the cool thing about being paid to entertain people. There are levels to that. When you're doing a wedding reception, that is never about you, and all about that couple, all about those families, all about the people who are there in attendance. When you sing in a lounge, that's you and the people who came, right? So you get a nice balance. And then every once in a while, you find these magical places, these venues that are about music and musicians and artists. And there you get to go and be yourself. So shameless plug, but in Little Rock, Arkansas, as it stands today, in April of 2015, when it comes to going places and doing the music that you love, the Afterthought and Sweetgrass and South on Main, they're these places that have so much history when it comes to feeling and making good music. And for whatever reason, these places are magical and they accept you, like, as you are as an artist. You have rappers come through there, jazz musicians, big band, whatever, R&B, and people are in those venues are free to just be whoever they are. And when you find those magic places, that's great. But just like any other job, sometimes it is about the rigmarole and the bullet points, and you have to just fill these check boxes and do what you got to do. And that is something that I would want every artist to know, in case that's a question that's coming up. I think every artist should know that you don't get to be an artist every day. And if you are an artist every day, know that everybody is not going to be digging whatever you're doing. Nobody owes you anything unless you wrote them a bill of sale. So you can do everything you want to do for little to no notoriety. You can conform completely for a lot of notoriety. That's what pop music is. It's popular. And in order to be popular, you have to be flexible. And then you can find this balance in the middle. That's some bullet points and some great days. But if you're getting a check, then you're being paid to do whatever you were asked to do. You're not an artist today. You're an employee. And I would suggest to anyone that in that situation, when you are an employee, that you humble yourself, fulfill your job duties and other duties as needed, and then get on down. That was brought to you by the letter B.